just to start, could you give us a quick summary of your life and its many accomplishments?
Okay, life, holy cow. I grew up here on Vashon, went to the school, Vashon Schools, had a great experience with the schools. Went to college in Vancouver, BC, had a great experience there. School was great, wrestling was great, friends were great. Came back and then I was a stonemason for a job, and I did that, worked for myself for about 10 to 12 years. I coached right when I finished too, so I've been coaching this whole time since 2000. And so after about 12 years of being a stonemason, I felt like I was ready to be a teacher. And I started that, and here I am.
Grew up on Vashon Island, wrestled for the Rockbusters, wrestled for the Mustangs, wrestled for the high school, went to San Francisco University, and then came back here. Coached at PLU for a year, came back here, and started teaching and coaching right away. I did more than just wrestling though, like when I was growing up. Like I did do Rockbusters, Mustangs in high school. I went to school too, just want to make sure to be clear about that for student athletes out there. I did go to school.
Nice. What kind of accomplishments did you have for wrestling?
Rockbusters league champ. McMurray, I guess I was league champ. High school state champ, and 3-time state placer. Our team got second at state. That was cool. And that was honorable mention, All-American high school, and then I was one match away from placing in Fargo in the junior nationals, and that was like, just keep on rethinking about that match actually, how cool it would be to be a high school All-American junior nationals. And then I was All-American at San Francisco University, and our team was always in the top 10, right around top 5.
Wow, that's very cool. What was special about being able to share all those accomplishments with your brother?
Everything. Everything is special about it. We grew up in a room that was about the size of a closet, and that forced us to get along because there weren't other options.
Yeah.
We had bunk beds that were like this, and so I was on the lower one, and so Honors would climb over me to get to bed or to get out of bed. And something about those close quarters forced us to get along.
Well, first of all, it's intimidating with my brother, because he won that Proctor of the Year award, and it's hard, you know what I mean? Like that's I feel like not only like I was always bigger than him, but now he's bigger and he wins all these important awards. So when you talk about me being literally in his shadow with his big back and bigger than me, but like figuratively in his shadow because he continues to win awards like Proctor Test of the Year. But on a serious note, I'm the serious coach, and you guys know that I don't do any joking around at all. And my brother's the fun coach, so he oftentimes initiates breakdance and competitions before events. He'll come to practice. He'll tell stories about his his son's crapping in the bathtub. And then that's when I come in, everyone's having a good time, and I come in and say, all right, check your weight at lunch, be here at 4 for setup, and then wrestle it, weigh in at 5, and all the logistics like that. So we work well together that way, so I can just, keep it straight and serious, and then he can just talk about, bathtub stories, killing rats under his house, and just stuff like that. And like, I love my brother. I mean, he's the greatest dude ever, and besides winning that Proctor the Year award, which he's like super cocky about, he's one of the most humble people that I know.
Yeah. What was it like only rising to this certain level of fame, but also doing it with your brother?
Through wrestling.
Yeah, we enjoyed wrestling. We had great coaches. Probably the best thing growing up is that we traveled into Tacoma, and we met some really close friends who also loved wrestling, and that really What was the question again?
What was it like?
Not only.
What was it like rising to this certain level of fame?
Yeah, I talked about him last time, but Rich Wheeler was was our big idol growing up, and he did things on the wrestling mat that no one had done for Vashon, and he won 2 state titles, and he was just an incredible worker and incredible person, and he was one that we looked up to, and he helped create kind of a blueprint for our success, especially in high school. And then when we got to college, we had probably the thing that I'll brag about the most is that I worked out just about every day with the guy who won the World Championships and the Olympic Championships, the first Canadian to ever do so. And he would beat me up every day. I'd make him work, but he would beat me up every day. And that's something that I'm most proud of, actually.
It's the best. It's the best. Like outside of his accomplishments, you know, with the testing, he doesn't ever try to like act like he's better than anyone else. He's so humble and meek, and that helps things. And what probably most people know, but like for you to know this documentary, like he's the toughest dude around. Like he is like mentally and physically tough, and so when you're around people like that, like it makes you tougher. It makes you, because you always know that you can go farther, you can go harder because of that. And it just, you know, we have the communal belief in our wrestlers. You know, not only be, you know, great wrestlers, but be great people too. So.
That's really cool. What first got you started in participating in wrestling?
Yeah, Honors and I would wrestle a lot in the living room. Our dad, while he never wrestled, he loved the sport, and he encouraged us to compete in it. I struggled when I was little emotionally. I would cry before matches, go to mom, and not wrestle in about half the matches that I was supposed to wrestle. That was kind of first grade, second grade, third grade, and then finally fourth grade. My dad bribed me and said that I could have a cool new headgear if I wrestled all the matches, and I did that, and it helped that I am a competitive person and that I was pretty good at it.
Our dad wanted us to be wrestlers from a young age, and we would wrestle in our living room, and our mom would have been a great wrestler if they had female wrestling back then, and our dad didn't have a chance to wrestle. They didn't have wrestling where he went. He would have been great too, and so they wanted us to be wrestlers, and also realize that, like, you know, brothers who wrestle, like when we fight, we're gonna wrestle. You know, it's a lot better, safer way to battle and be able to protect yourself. And then we found some success in that. It usually helps.
Yeah.
It's good to do
Yeah,
things that are good at. Just like I'm afraid my brother might leave this program now with his test proctoring accomplishments to leave that for a new career. So anything we can do as viewers to keep him here coaching, then that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. What was your biggest motivation to keep wrestling throughout all these years?
Yeah, biggest motivation. Just working hard. I probably seem more like a joker to most people, but
I don't get that at all.
but just the amount of work that, specifically in wrestling, where it's such an individual sport, you put in the work and you get results for the work that you put in. And I love competition, and I tie those together. And yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. Winning, I guess. I mean, not gonna lie. I don't coach just for us to win. I mean, but I'm one of the most competitive people that I know, and so winning, and then just being able to have a wrestling's so great. You can make yourself great. Like, it helps to have an awesome coach and a training partner and stuff. But you can make yourself great by putting in all that extra time and that plan, and to do that, and you can control a lot. You know, you can't control everything, but you can control a lot, and that was really, really fun for me to do. But in terms of continuing to do it, like teammates, friends, coaches and mentors, just being around them makes you just want to come to practice, you know, even if you're not feeling that great.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who was your biggest, or who were your biggest supporters during all these years?
Yeah, mom and dad. We had some good coaches here on the island, and then coaches in Tacoma when we were high school level. And then our college coach was a great guy. He coached in the Olympics. He coached in tons of world championships, and he was a great influence. Not necessarily the most positive person in the world, but great man.
Our parents, for sure. Our parents, absolutely. From day one, they would bring us to practice in Tacoma for our club practice between 1 and 4 days a week. They go to all our events. They rarely miss an event. I mean, a national event, a regional event, a state event. You know, even in some little town in Eastern Washington on a Saturday on Mother's Day. You know, I mean, they will, or Father's Day. Like they will spend that time supporting us. I've had numerous other people supporting. I mean, coaches and mentors. You know, from Little League through McMurray through high school, and then through college too. Probably too many to name without forgetting someone right now, but you know who you are.
What would you consider your greatest accomplishment on the mat?
My last year in college, I won the NAIA national championship and was voted the outstanding wrestler of the tournament.
Winter State was cool. Not gonna lie. That was really cool. Still, when I hear some of those songs and something that go to Tacoma, I still think about that. And being All-American was something that I never really. I mean, I wanted to be good and stuff, but I didn't ever really think about that exact time. And that was more cool. Like after it happened, it was like, oh wow, I guess I am college NAIA All-American. So.
Were you ever like undefeated on the mat, like for a season? Or
My junior year when I went state, I was, I don't know, like 31-1. My one loss was from someone to Oregon. But the cool thing about wrestling, like if you want to be great and you spend time, then you continue to go to tournaments that are outside of the regular season. And I wrestled freestyle and Greco-Roman, and I lost plenty. I lost plenty after that. I mean, I'm not saying I lost every match at all, but like lost a lot. And I think that you can learn so much. You need to lose to be able to improve.
What would you consider the greatest accomplishment off of the mat?
Yeah, being a coach, being a teacher, influencing, having some sense of influencing others. I also have to say that just recently I was awarded a certificate, and I was the only teacher who got it, an excellent test proctor, and I kind of feel like this is a calling for me. Yeah, there are just so many cool words mixed in with these letters here. I can spell my name with letters from these words. P, and then L. Yeah.
Where did you get this from?
Oh, the students. I just did such a good job with proctoring. Yeah, I'm the only. I don't know if I've said it enough times. I'm the only one who got this. Yeah. Do you want to look at it?
Yep, we got it.
See if you can match up the spelling of my name with the letters, like I did. This is probably dearest to my heart.
Continuing our Vashon wrestling program of developing young men and young women to not only be awesome on the mat, but just to be a community of people who are striving to be good people, working hard, and believing in our dreams, and realizing that we can put individually and collectively effort into making those happen. In the smaller stage of a 3-month wrestling season, the larger stage of our program as a whole.
What did your brother mean to you?
I thought that was the end. Okay, what does my brother mean to me? Yeah. It's just we've just coached in terms of coaching. We've coached together for all these years. We finished our 19th year of coaching together, and one of those things that you try not to take for granted, but you do take for granted at a certain level because we've always coached together, and I can't imagine not coaching with him. And when we're coaching together, we have our different roles, and that's so fun and so appreciated and everything. Just okay, so like some examples: huge matches at the state tournament, getting to the state finals, winning state championships, whatever. Just when those matches are over, there's this feeling that you just don't have in life. And the match ends, and you'll see Honors and I will be jumping around like we're 4 years old, and it's you don't find it in life, actually. Sorry to get all serious on you.
For all of us.
It means a ton, you know. Like, you know, all joking aside about him being the, you know, proctor of the year, which I still am proud of for him, you know. Like, just like we have families and stuff now, and we still put as much time into it. You know, tons of time planning, tons of time in the room, going to camps, you know, going to tournaments, and there's sometimes, you know, at like 6 o'clock in the morning at like Rainier High School, you know, outside of Olympia. We're like, what are we doing? And you know, our families are at home supporting us doing that, and then we just both look at each other like, well, you know what? We have fun together, and it's fun to know that we're making a difference. But more so that it's way more fun to do it with someone that you appreciate and love like your brother.
After so many years of competing, what made you want to start coaching wrestling?
Yeah, it was kind of a natural progression where I finished college, didn't really know what I wanted to do with work, but I loved Vashon. I knew enough people to get work doing whatever, construction, landscaping, to stay busy. And the previous coach who'd coached for, 30 years or so, had just retired, and Honors had coached a little bit the year before, and so we just, it was a great time to be back and coach together.
I always knew I wanted to be a coach. Like ever since I was in junior high, when I would fill out those like occupational things, it was like to be a teacher, PE teacher, or like a bricklayer, and it was like these like random little things. And I think that makes sense. The bricklayer part too, like just the workman, like realizing the hard work can build something. But also like sometimes I just need to be by myself to get away from people to build up these things. But I knew I was like, I'm going to be a coach, and I just don't know what I'm going to teach. I thought maybe running a daycare, then I was going to be a math and Spanish teacher, and then I accidentally like ran into some English classes and philosophy classes that I liked in university, and I switched my degree to English, history, and philosophy. And I had some great English teachers growing up too. But now I'm switching back to PE, which is funny, where it all started of me finding out that that's where what I wanted to do in life. Like that's my main purpose, I think, outside of being a good human being.
Was there a moment or a person who influenced you the most to want to be a coach and a teacher?
Yeah, let's see. Well, I remember in high school filling out some of those forms. They still have them, but I don't know if everyone does them. But the jobs most likely for you. What's that called? Career something or another? Yeah. And my top two when I was in high school were bricklayer and teacher. So that was pretty crazy. Yeah, teaching influences. My dad was our dad was kind of a para, and so the influence of helping, and my mom did a lot of great work too, was a real thing. I had great teachers in high school here, and yeah, I'm not sure if there's one specific teacher that I looked up to, but I had great teachers and enjoyed my time throughout school.
I think that one moment that helped push me a lot, and I guess maybe helped accentuate my desire to be a coach and be a person who taught conditioning and that sort. Mr. Canal in junior high, he was pretty straightforward, and I remember I was like I couldn't do some pull-ups or do some things that many, and he's like, you're a wrestler, you should be able to do more than that. And some people don't take that well, but I took it personal, and I bought a weight set, and I would lift every day. I work out every day, and then went from 4 or 5 minute wall sits to 30 minutes the next year, and just be able to do some things that I didn't think I could do, and it's probably motivated by him in the middle school. And all my coaches and stuff, and my parents were really motivating. My brother, he's my best friend, and you guys already know that because I talked about that before. But when I was in college, my first couple of years, I was struggling a little bit, and then when he got there, I just watched his confidence, and he's 2 years younger than me, and not as strong or as powerful as experienced. And he went out there with confidence against some guys. I'm like, my little brother can be doing that, then I should be doing that. And that kind of accentuated a cycle that we kept going of pushing each other. And I never wanted to lose to him, so I made sure that didn't let that happen until the very end. And he can still beat me now, so y'all know that.
Most everyone in this school would consider you and your brother, some of the best and most liked teachers at this school, as well as some of the best coaches in this school that this school has seen. What would you say you're more proud of your success in the classroom or as a coach?
First of all, I don't know if I believe that data. I think I need to see those results. I don't know. But you show me proof that people think that. If they do, in the a hypothetical world, that they do think that, I appreciate that a lot. That's really nice of you to say. And I just think my role as a teacher and a coach, similar a lot of levels. It's all about relationships and respect and having fun doing something. I think it's different in wrestling because you sign up for it, and we can really push people really hard, especially when and I think when our athletes respect the coaches, us, and the fact that we're willing to do anything and everything and come up with a plan and spend that time, making a difference, and then still have fun in the process. In teachers, I just really value my relationship with students in my classroom and building a community and just having fun learning. I had a couple of teachers in university that were I would have 4-hour poetry classes, and it would end, and it was like going to a party in a movie. It was so fun, and it was we were learning and having fun together. And so trying to bring that to schools makes life worthwhile. To be able to have fun and hopefully making a little bit of a difference. But I'm not sure about that data. I'm not sure. I need to see a graph or a chart, some real proof.
Where are you hoping the future not only takes your relationship with your brother, but as well as your life in general?
It's interesting being in a profession where I don't want any other job. I'm really happy doing what I'm doing. There's no step up. There are jobs up, but I don't want them. And I'm really happy where I am. If we could just keep on doing the same thing we're doing for 20 more years. My kids are almost 4 and just turned 6, so we've got at least 15 more years to do this together, as long as he sticks with me through that time. I'm going to be around for those years, definitely, and it's really exciting. It's exciting to think about finally coaching my kids in the sport that I've coached other kids for 20 years.
Like I said, he's my best friend. One of the most authentic people that I know. He's real, and we definitely got that from our parents growing up. Of to be not too cool for school, to be real, and we are going to be best friends, and then we have the same interests of coaching wrestling and helping young men and women become great and become good people. And this morning I was reading about like creativity and the power of when people like in the creative process can work together to do something. It's infinite. And so I think that we always say, hey, we'll year by year, we'll do the best we can. But he has I have nephews. He has sons who are 3 and 5 or 4 and 6 soon, and they love wrestling and they wrestle in the living room. And so I imagine he will be coaching for a while, and I imagine that I will be coaching for a while too, and look forward to that.
All right. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hello, doing all right.
Nice. We just wanted to ask a couple questions about your relationship and the Blue Moon Brothers.
Well, my relationship has been as working here at Capstone High School and as a paraeducator, and they're teachers who I admire very much. They're great teachers, great guys. So that's how our relation is really in the working here. They've been here a lot longer than I have, but
How long have you known them?
since I came here in 17 years ago, 2002.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just starting, I think, as coaches. So I've known them as coaches, wrestling coaches, and also teachers.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. How long have you known the Blue Moon Brothers?
Well, my first serious interaction, I guess, was wrestling my sophomore year. But I knew PL. He didn't actually teach me, but he was a teacher who was around pretty often in 7th grade.
What was your first impression of the Blue Moon Brothers?
Well, the Bloomington brothers are maybe their relationship as brothers. I noticed that the first impression is they're really a very loving family and as close as any two brothers I've ever met, and work together, without any, in a non-competitive way. They really support each other. So my impression was great guys. Also very creative. The guys, I was really impressed with their creativity, their poetry, their humor. I mean, they're unique.
Oh,
yeah.
very.
Yeah.
Mr. Bloomgren is your coach, Anders.
They both are.
Well, since both of them are your coach, and I assume you had both of them as your teachers.
Yes.
What similarities do you have of them, like as a of them teaching and them on the mat? Like, what are some similarities that you see with both of them?
I noticed that on the mat and in the classroom, they bring a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, and they make sure their students and their athletes work hard on and off the mat. So they're kind of just all around great people on and off the mat.
Do you know about their coaching styles, and how does that reflect on their their life outside of school?
Well, I think their coaching style is, and I've watched them coach, in wrestling matches. They don't yell, and they're really, you can see their interest is really in developing the character and the attitudes of the young people, and I think that's been the secret of their success. But the coaching style, I think, reflects the type of people they are. They are very caring and thoughtful and loving people. And that's, so it translates into coaching.
For wrestling?
Well, I wrestled once in 8th grade, and then I didn't wrestle in 10th grade, or in 9th grade when I started wrestling again in 10th grade.
What has been the most important thing that you have learned from wrestling from them?
Someone should have given me these questions beforehand. Most important thing. Probably just working hard is, and I don't know. There's nothing else that is that gives you that sort of experience.
What are some of your favorite memories of the Bloomgren brothers?
Well, I think with Anders, it's been when Greg McElroy and I he's brought us in to play some blues, play blues for the his creative right. I think English American literature class, and we've played a lot of blues songs, did a little history of the blues, and he kind of brought me in as I don't remember what my rap name was, but Mr. C or something like that. But that was fun, and then with Per Lars and Anders playing basketball with them, and those guys are like a wrecking crew. I mean, they're incredible. They play. I just love the way the energy they play with. That was amazing. Yeah.
Who has been your favorite memory wrestling for VHS?
That's a hard question, but I don't know. It's pretty fun to watch them prank people. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I don't know.
One more question. What do you think the future will hold for the Bloomgren brothers?
Well, I think they, as a team, as a coaching team in wrestling, I think they could go on for a long time. They've gone for many decades, and I hope they do. And as teachers, I think both as teachers and coaches, their future is wide open and very bright. They got a bright future, and I mean, if they continue as they have been, they could keep going for years and years. And I hope to be around to see some of it.
If you had to describe the Bloomgren brothers, how would you describe them?
Unique, funny, energetic, and hardworking.
First impression. I don't know. They're maybe come off as kind of strange, funny, and I guess that hasn't changed. But I've gotten to know them a little bit more. They're still strange and funny. I've gotten, yeah, I don't know. They're definitely. I look up to them a lot, and I would say they're like some of the nicest, best guys I know. But yeah.
Awesome. Have you noticed that being around them, like on the mat or in the classroom, do you see that you've picked up any things like that could help you improve in life?
I've learned to consistently work hard and just learn to help out with the community more, because they definitely care a lot about the community. So to have us give back and work hard doing it is pretty great.
What do you think is like the consensus feeling about the Bloomgren brothers? Like,
What?
the consensus feeling. Like, what do you think most of this school feels or
I
thinks
think,
about the Bloomgren?
yeah, no, I think they're loved. They're loved by everyone. They definitely because they are so caring and they have such an upbeat spirit, and yeah, it just lifts everybody's spirits, and I think that's how they see them. They pick up the energy. They pick up the energy in the room, you know, and that comes from something deep inside of them, which is maybe passed on from their parents. I know their dad before he passed, and he had that kind of same spirit. So, yeah, and their mom.
Perfect.